Back to Philly Sports Unfiltered. Guys, first day of Eagles training camp is officially in the books. It was a really good day. I feel like we got a lot of insights into the Eagles today. And I would argue that probably more of the insights actually came from the press conferences. But I want to get into the things that we saw on the field and some of the things that we also heard in a pretty wide round of Eagles press conferences today. So, first observation that I want to get into is Jalen Hurts. He looked good on his first day of practice. And for me, this is no surprise because Jalen Hurts has been putting in a ton of work outside of normal Eagles practices, outside of training camp, outside of OTA. He's been with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith pretty much the entire summer, and they have worked out together countless times, according to what A.J. Brown said. But if you guys want some statistics on today, you guys probably know, but Elliott Shore-Parks, he does do a really good job at tracking all of the training camp stats, and he did a comparison of the red zone practice today from day one from this year's training camp compared to day one of last year's training camp. And basically last year, Hurts threw 14 passes. He had 2 TDs and 1 interception and only 5 completions on those passes. Today, he went 12 of 15. He had 4 TDs and 1 interception. So it was definitely a much better day from Jalen Hurts. He just seemed to be a lot more consistent compared to where he was at this time last year. Obviously, it's just a practice. It's not a game situation, but you always do like to see a player having some success, even if it is within practice. And Hurts, he did have some nice balls today. So also, Nick Sirianni got in with some, just comments on where he feels that Jalen is at, for this coming season. And Nick Sirianni was pretty effusive with his praise, and he does feel like he's made a big jump. And he said, Nick Sirianni said, look, you can see he's just another year into it, that decisions are being made quicker and faster each time he gets a rep. And he said, just like a lot of quarterbacks in the league, they get better with their decision making over time. So you're definitely going to see that. You'll see his play making ability with his feet. I saw a more accurate passer in OTAs, and now he's got to go and continue to prove it every day. I thought he had great progress in OTAs, and he wants to see him continue that momentum. So this is what we kind of felt when OTAs were over. People were talking about he was a little bit quicker, he was throwing with better anticipation, and just overall, he looked like a more accurate, better decision maker. It's exactly what we want to see from Jalen Hurts. Now, Nick Sirianni was also rocking a Jalen Hurts t-shirt. So we saw him last year. He was rocking the BG gear. This year, he's rocking some Jalen Hurts. So it's good to see Coach supporting Jalen. I think it's going to be a big year for him, but it's good to see people backing him and just encouraging him to make that leap. Also, today was a really good day, I thought, for the defense. I thought there were some really good signs from the defense. Perhaps one of the biggest positive takeaways is that Brandon Graham spoke on his injury, and he said that there is absolutely no restrictions for him as he returns from his Achilles tear. And something that we found out from the press conference, and this is why I say the press conferences were arguably more important than the actual practice. BG said, he was comparing this Achilles tear to his knee injury, and he said for him, it was way tougher for him to come back from the knee than it was to come back from the Achilles. He feels he's in a much better shape, much better position. He feels much better coming back from the Achilles than he did from the knee. He's saying completely no restrictions. He feels great. He's happy to be out there. And he really kind of just downplayed how difficult it was to come back from the Achilles. He thought it was going to be way harder. So that's really good news for BG. Like, if he's back to being himself, this is a huge boost for the defense. Also, this is something that we did speculate in the offseason, but we speculated that the Eagles were going to have a mix of both 3-4 and 4-3, and this was actually true today. The Eagles were versatile on defense, and they were swapping different looks. They were swapping different plays. Sometimes they were lining up in a 3-4. Sometimes they were lining up in a 4-3. I think this is really good news, not only because of the personnel that we have, but just also because for opposing offenses, it gives them so much more that they have to prepare for. And I think this is going to be a really good benefit for our defense. Now, one other thing I wanted to touch on Marcus Epps had a really good day, and this is a player that I think is really important for our team because we are really lacking on safety depth. And, what we saw from Marcus Epps last year was, okay, the guy was a hard hitter. He played, full speed. He was pretty good, but, one of the things we question is, can he really do it in coverage? Well, today, he had a really great play in the end zone. He intercepted Jalen Hurts. He was actually covering Dallas Goedert, obviously one of our best receivers on the team. And a big boy, big body, and Marcus Epps got in there. He got the interception, so I do think that is an encouraging sign. Number 3 observation that I want to go over today is that today it was a really good day for the receiving game. Obviously, Hurts threw 4 TDs himself, but Gardner Minshew got in there and he actually threw quite a number of TDs as well. And here are the training camp stats from today. A.J. Brown, 1 TD. Quez got 2 TDs. Devontae Smith, kind of a poor day. He didn't really do much. He dropped 1 in the end zone. Goddard, 1 TD. Rager had 2 TDs, all on the second team, all from Gardner Minshew. Miles Sanders had a few carries. Kenny Gainwell had a TD. And also Grant Calcaterra had a leaping touchdown in the end zone from Gardner Minshew. So overall, it was a really good day for the quarterbacks. It was a really good day for the receivers. They got a lot of action in terms of red zone action and touchdowns. But one of my particular concerns was the length of the practice today. So today's practice was only 56 minutes. I understand it's kind of a ramp up day, as BG was saying, and they're just just trying to get into the flow. But if I'm looking at Jalen Hurts, he only has 15 reps, and you look at these receivers and running backs, guys getting 1 touch, 2 touch, only 2 passes coming their way in an entire practice. I need to see more reps than that. I know it's the first practice. I know it's the start of training camp. But if we're going to get guys warmed up, if we're going to get them in uniform, if we're going to get them out into the field and playing, I need to see way more reps. I just personally felt that at the start of last year, we weren't very well prepared. I understand that in terms of injuries and stuff, we had a fairly decent year. The team is pretty healthy heading into this season. But I just didn't feel like the team was very well prepared to start the year. And I do think that has to do with limited reps in practice. And we can't afford to have that kind of start again. We can't afford to have a slow start heading into this year. It's not Sirianni's first year anymore. We need more reps. We need to be more ready heading into the season. That's just how I feel. But I want to ask you guys, how do you feel about these practices? Do you think they're too short? 56 minutes for a practice? I don't know. At least go 90 minutes. That's my read on it. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for today. Definitely be in with some more insights as training camp continues. As always, if you find that you're enjoying the content, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Until then, go Birds.